Okay, joining me on the line now is vocalist from Brother Firetribe. Welcome to the show, Pekka.
Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate it.
It's a real pleasure having you on the show. Again, I always pinch myself at getting a chance to have a chat with musicians that I'm a fan of their work. And obviously, I've got you on the show today, primarily to talk obviously about your third studio album, which is out next month.
That's right. Oh, you're a fan of the band.
Indeed, yes, I am.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Yeah, the album's coming out in... here in Finland, it was May 3rd, I guess, May 2nd, something like that. So it's out there in May 4th.
Yeah, it's out May 5th here in the UK, so that's good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's all good. I mean, it's been 6 years or something. So it's about time. Well,
this is what I was going to say to you. How come the big gap between album releases this time? Because obviously there wasn't so much of a gap between the previous releases.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, after we finished touring Heart Full of Fire, the previous album, Nightwish, you probably know that our guitarist plays in that band. So, so they got active again, and they went touring the world and what have you. And life just went on. I mean, everybody got busy making a living and so on, and all of a sudden we just realized that, wait a minute, it's been way too long. Let's start doing something again.
Well, it's another album which I would say is highly anticipated for this year. There's a few releases that have come out this year which, just looking at the likes of Facebook, etc., fans have been clamouring for the release and sort of hearing the first snippets. Obviously, we just played the first single off the album, and I've had the privilege to listen to the album already, and it's got to say, it's absolutely superb.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks. Glad you like it.
One question I was going to ask you, just jumping back in time shortly, if you don't mind. Obviously, the first album came out and was re-released under a different name. Obviously, the first album being False Metal, and then was reissued as Breakout. What was the reason for that?
I have no idea. All I know is that didn't come from the band. I mean, that was purely somebody else's. I don't know. Maybe Manowar started threatening the record company or something. I don't know. They were just not happy with the False Metal title. So we were just like, we threw our hands up in the air like, okay, do whatever you want if that's the case. But I honestly have no idea why somebody changed that to some region. I don't know. I have no idea.
Obviously, probably some bizarre meeting in the record company then, and probably had too much to drink and decided to do a name change.
Could be, yeah, it could be. Yeah, but it was just funny. I mean, False Metal was obviously inspired by Manowar. I mean, we thought our kind of music was exactly what they meant by saying death to false metal. So that was kind of tongue-in-cheek. So I don't know. Maybe somebody just didn't get the joke. I don't know.
Well, obviously, tongue-in-cheek. You could use the same phrase, obviously, when we discuss how you got the name Brother Firetribe.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool one. That's definitely an inside joke, and I've had to explain this to quite a few times. But short and sweet. It's a straight translation. There used to be this legendary tennis player in Finland called Velipalo Heimo, and if you translate that to English, you get Brother Firetribe. Or close enough for rock and roll, but it's a mutual friend of ours kind of came up with that name in a drunken haze back in the day, and we had just started to write songs together, but we didn't have a name for the band, so we just thought that's pretty much perfect. I mean, we had already established when people started asking us, okay, so you guys are writing songs together. What kind of music is that? And we kind of came up with the term tennis heavy, tennis metal, or something like that. So it was just perfect. I mean, we had to use it. So it kind of stuck, and now it's a household name back here. So it's pretty cool.
I was going to say, getting drunk to bring up the name is always probably a good choice and brings up for a good story.
It always works. Absolutely, yes.
Obviously, you've for those people who are unfamiliar with the band, and shame on you, you've obviously brought out the live DVD back in 2010, live from Apollo, which is absolutely great again. Because I always find with live stuff, it's a real hit and miss. It either really works or it falls absolutely flat on its face.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of funny. That's another thing that I have no idea how that came up. I mean, all of a sudden we were just recording a live DVD. That's all I know. And I mean, the venue was great. It's one of the most beautiful, rock clubs in whole Finland, and we were lucky enough to have the place packed. And that was the last gig we did before the break. So that was a nice way to end a certain period. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool documentary of what was going on back then.
I think it's a really great one. I mean, I think it captures the spirit of the band perfectly.
Yeah, I think so too. And plus, the guys, Torsti Spoof, a good friend of ours who's done all the mixing for the new album and Hot Foot Fire, and I played with him in Leverage.
Right.
And he did a great job, as far as the sound goes on that live DVD. So it all kind of it was just really good. That's a good live DVD.
Well, talking of live as well, of course, you are visiting these very shores later on in the year when you're making, obviously, an appearance at Firefest.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to be there. I mean, I've been there once as a fan,
right,
back in the day, and I just love the venue. I love the festival. I mean, it's and those guys, they've asked us to play there for quite a few years, actually every year, ever since we.
And finally, Kieran sort of wore you down, did he?
Yeah. And now finally, we just couldn't say no. I mean, we really want to play there, and this time it's actually happening, and we're thrilled.
And luckily, you just got in, because obviously, unfortunately, this will be the last Firefest.
Yeah, that's another reason why we definitely wanted to do it, because it really seems like it's the last one. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I believe there are plans afoot, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you're also going to be doing at some point some other dates in the UK.
We're just working on it. We're working our asses off to make it happen. And there's been talk of doing a date in London and in Nottingham, and that's what we're talking about right now. And now it's just all about making it work, and that will be before Firefest. So we'll see what happens. I'm keeping my fingers and my legs and everything crossed for that.
Well, I hope it does come off, because I mean, there are a lot of people who want to see you guys live. I say, obviously, those who have seen the live DVD will obviously know what can they expect when they see you guys.
Okay, well, that's a lot of pressure on us, but hey, bring it on.
Well, obviously the scene at the moment, certainly in Europe regarding melodic rock is, and I've said it many times now on the show, is getting increasingly healthy. There are an awful lot of good bands out, so it's great. Obviously, you guys have brought a new release out, and I guess you're probably under pressure from so many other Scandinavian acts who seem to have popped up since your last release.
Yeah, it's true, but it's like you said, it's only healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just love seeing those bands that we're talking about. We're talking about Heat and what have you. I mean, just great young bands, young guys who play this kind of traditional stuff. It just blows my mind. And we don't think that much when we write. We don't think too much of what kind of music comes out, because all that comes really, really naturally. So,
right.
So we just kind of fall into that category, just naturally, which is fine by me. So, I mean, it's obvious because we're a bit older than these guys, what we're talking about, because we grew up with this kind of music, and so did they, but they grew up with this kind of music like 10 years after we did, which is incredible. So I'm tipping my hat to those guys, absolutely.
We're talking about writing for the album. I mean, who are the main songwriters?
Me and Tompa, the keyboard player, we write all the songs.
And obviously this new album has got 12 tracks on it. Did you just write sort of round about 12 tracks, or did you write sort of about 13 and have the real pain of trying to whittle down what was actually going to go onto the album itself?
Well, this time we write really spontaneously, and
right.
And this time, because we were on a break, we didn't have any schedules or anything like that, so the whole process was really slow, especially the writing part. Up until the point where we had something like 6 songs demoed, and then we kind of just woke up and brought out a subject of maybe doing an actual album, and that's when the trouble started. I mean, that's when things got really slow.
Right.
So after we had written those 10 songs, because one song is a cover song. So after we had written those 10 songs and demoed them, our gloves just totally dropped. We were like, okay, not another song. I mean, we didn't have another song in us. I mean, that's all we got. So, but we sat down and had a listen and agreed on having a great set of songs in our hands. So no problem.
That's good. I mean, some bands I speak to, I mean, they will do saying like they're writing, if they're out on the radio, they'll write maybe 30, 40 songs, and then the heated discussion will start to what on earth's actually going to make it onto the album. It's always a tricky one.
Yeah, it is, but I don't understand how somebody can write 40 songs for an album and then start picking out those 12 songs. I don't get it. I mean, it's always a struggle, but we definitely we always focus on having the best possible hook on a song, and really kind of keep it simple, stupid, but still concentrating on those hooks and melodies and catchiness. So I mean, if you have 10 good songs, it saves you the trouble from choosing from 40. So I actually prefer it like that.
Well, I guess the problem could be, that you're going to start getting overcritical and maybe start analysing the tracks too much and maybe start making some bad choices, in fact, in the end.
Exactly, yeah. And with these 10 songs that we had, we used a lot of outside ears, We had friends coming to the studio, and we had colleagues coming to the studio, and all kinds of people, and we played the songs to them, and they all liked it. So I mean, at some point it just gets really, really difficult because you're so close to the songs yourself. So you absolutely need somebody else's opinion.
I was going to say, because you probably heard the songs goodness knows how many times, and you start to miss the sort of the originality of that song. And I say, if you've got someone who's coming in with fresh ears and probably someone you trust opinion-wise to tell you bluntly whether it's great or absolutely terrible, then that has only got to be a good thing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Are you going to be doing any dates? Because obviously I must discuss the rest of Europe. Any dates out in Europe as well? Because obviously we've got listeners all over the place from Firebrand. So are you looking at maybe doing some festival work or something like that?
Yeah, well, the album comes out so late that, as always with this band, we're always late for everything. So we only have a couple of festivals booked for the summer, and obviously the album release party gig in Helsinki, and hopefully coming over to see you guys at the end of May. But after that, the summer is pretty quiet, as far as the live gigs go. But we're definitely aiming to tour as much as possible during the rest of the year after the summer, because that's basically all the time we have before Nightwish activates.
Of course.
So yeah, so that's the plan. We definitely want to bring this band everywhere during the rest of the year. Absolutely.
Well, that's certainly news that's going to please an awful lot of fans, because fans being what fans are, and I will put my hand up and say the same, we are an impatient lot, and we do tend to give bands an awful lot of grief, and maybe expect too much of them.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, Pekka, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I say, being a fan and being a critical one as well, I'm so not disappointed with the new album. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it is classic Brother Firetribe. For those of you out there who are very familiar with the band, you will not be disappointed. It is classic Brother Firetribe, and you guys are going to enjoy it. It is great. And I say that is out on May the 5th, and that's on Spine Farm Records, for those of you who need that information.
Oh, man, thanks so much. I got goosebumps, man.
Well, Pekka, I mean, for those people who know me well, know that I tend to tell it like it is, and maybe I don't know if it's a good reputation or a bad one based off the back of it, but if I like something, it goes on the show, and it's as simple as that.
Oh, man, thank you so much. Thanks, Dan.
No, Pekka, it's been an absolute pleasure. I say, I wish you and the guys the best of luck with this album, and fingers crossed, although I can't unfortunately make it to Firefest this year for family reasons, okay. If you're playing any of the dates, I'm going to try and, fingers crossed, try and get to see you guys live.
Oh, man, you better be there, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Pekka, it's been a real pleasure. Hopefully speak to you again soon in the future.
Okay, absolutely. Take care now.
Cheers, man.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.